Hey guys, Chris from American Warrior Forge here. So today I'm just going to show you a quick little project that is pretty popular, and that is a copper bookmark. Now copper work hardens, all metal is going to work harden to some extent, but copper work hardens, and so you may be thinking, oh well, that's not a very good option. But actually, as you forge it cold, it's going to become stiffer. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to show you how to make this thing, and first I'll show you what it looks like. Thanks, guys. Alright guys, so this is what we're going to be using. This is a 8-gauge copper wire. Alright, as you can see, pretty flexible. What we're going to do is measure out a section. So what we're going to do is measure out a section. I'm just going to use my little square here, get myself roughly 4.5–5 inches. Hi Daisy. Okay. And did it focus? Alright, so there's our copper. That's what we're going to be using. Alright, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my length of copper that I cut, and I'm going to hold on to just like the last inch roughly, and I'm going to forge the rest of it flat. No need to heat it up, just forge it cold. Careful not to, as you get toward the end here, careful not to hit the tip of your thumb. The first few of these I made, I actually did, and I pinched my thumb between the hammer and anvil and basically popped off the tip. Alright, so we've got our flattened section and our still round section from where I've been holding on to it. Now this does get hot as it work hardens. For this next part we're going to hold over here, but I'm going to cool it off in water just for a second because it is a little warm. Okay, so I got that cooled off. So now we're going to take this little section here, and before we flatten it, and you can do different things. You could leave this all flat. You could curl it. I like to curl it to the side, so kind of like turning, or like you would use it in a horseshoe. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to bend this over the anvil. And then hammer it back on itself, just like you would if you were creating a curl. Okay, and you can see I'm starting to get my sort of horseshoe shape there. Okay, and then once I get there, I'm going to go ahead and flatten that out now as well. I used to flatten this first, and I found it much more difficult because the material is thin. It's easier to do the curl first and then flatten it. So learn from my mistakes. Now on mine, I like to have this closed all the way off, and so I'll push this in, and then I'll file a little bit of the outside off just to make it symmetrical, because I use this opening here to hold on to a little leather tassel. But like I said, you can do lots of different things to make it decorative, whatever you'd like to do. Just kind of truing it up, making sure everything's in line. Okay. Okay, so there's my basic shape. Got my little shepherd's hook basically, and this little end here is going to hold on to my tassel. Now you could be done here, polish it up, whatever you'd like to do. I like to taper this end right here just a little bit with some files, and then I anneal it with my blowtorch, and then I hit it with a ball peen hammer, and then I sand it. And what that's going to do is give me kind of a two-toned, textured look. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, but you guys could stop at any point. This is now a functional bookmark. So there you have it, nice and simple. So like I said on mine, I like to anneal it and then hit it with a ball peen hammer to rework harden it, and then that will give me a two-tone look as well. So that's what I'm going to do now. All right, let that cool for a couple minutes and we'll move on to the texturing. All right, guys. So it's cooled off now, so I'm gonna go ahead and do the texturing. And just know as you do this, it's gonna work harden, it's also gonna curl. So you'll have to straighten it out a little bit. And try not to go too hard on these edges, because you can bow them out and basically just have to file it off because there's not really anything you can do at that point. So see how it's starting to curl up on me? That's fine. I'm just going to bend it. It's still fairly soft, but that bending also helps with the work hardening. Okay, so I'm just going to bend it back straight. Okay, and then as you can see, it's also kind of kicked off this way a little bit. So now we're just going to do a little straightening. It's very thin at this point, so make sure you work it both ways and don't hit it too hard, or else you will damage it irreparably. Okay. So that's what we're looking at now. Now I'm going to take some high grit sandpaper and just sand the top of this so that I've got that two-tone look. And the final step is to put a finish on it. The finish I like to use is a paste wax finish. So I just apply a little bit of heat to this thing, wipe the wax on, and let it cool. Alright guys, I got just a little piece of 800 grit sandpaper. This is Rhino Wet. It's really good stuff, but you can use whatever you want, but 800 grit or so usually does the job. And I'm just going to lightly sand across the top and start to reveal the pattern by knocking off the oxides from the blowtorch during the annealing process on the high points only. And low points keep their oxides. It gives me the effect I'm after. But again, you could take it to a buffing wheel, you could leave it rough, you could texture it and not sand it. You could do the curl, traditionally. Instead of bending it over this way, you could just roll it up this way. Don't curl it at all, just flat and drill a hole, whatever you want to do. The only limitation is your own imagination. I'm just showing you how I do it. giving you an example. Okay, and I like to sand the back as well. Not perfectly, because I want it to have a similar effect to the front. Okay. And then, of course, I always want to put your touch mark on things that you make. I'm going to stamp mine. Okay, now we're going to put paste wax on it. So real quick, I'm just using Minwax paste finishing wax. You can get this at any big box hardware store or whatever. I got this at Lowe's. Here we go. Just gonna give it a little bit of heat, not enough to anneal it again. Just enough to melt this wax. And then I'm using a wax brush. Put that melt on there. Flip it over. Get the other side. And especially with the type of finish that I do on this, it's going to protect those oxides from getting rubbed off. Okay, I'm just going to let that dry for a minute. And then I'm going to take a rag or paper towel or something and just wipe off the excess. It's still a little warm. Okay, there we have it. So now I'm just going to go put a leather tassel through there, and that's a wrap. Thanks, guys. All right, guys, so that was it. Like I said, simple project, super easy, but it does use, or does help you practice some of the essential techniques that you use in forging a whole array of things, and it makes for a really good gift. You know, if you've got someone that's a book lover, loves to read, and they got a birthday coming up or an anniversary, copper anniversary, these make great gifts. So hope you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for more. If you did enjoy the video, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. It really helps. Hit me up with questions if you've got them. Let me know if there's topics you want me to cover. I'll try my best to cover them. Other than that, have a good day, guys. We'll talk to you later. See you on the next one.